Hello all, GC13 here. Welcome to video number 3 of our Prison Architect Alpha 13 tutorial. I know we've been delayed a little bit, but it should be worth it as I'm on much nicer hardware and software, and I think you'll really notice the difference. So, last I checked, we were working on getting this workshop in working order. I need to put in some electrical cables so that these top guys will be powered. They'll still use it, even if it doesn't have power. But again, that's kind of exploiting a little bit. I don't think it'll be like that in the finished version. Let's just make sure we have enough people assigned there. I have 10 people there. But I go down here and I see that there are 3 prisoners, or 5 prisoners, not actually headed to the workshop to work. So I'm going to go ahead and take everybody off of everywhere else until this fills up. And once this is full, I can go ahead and reassign my guys here. Again, you really don't need very many people working in your laundry. If I were to send a guard in here and watch them, it would probably only be one guy doing anything at any given time. So I really could just leave it at 1 dude, but we'll leave it at 2 just in case they decide to start doing some work. Now, while my prisoners work very hard to make me some money, I have to think about how I'm going to spend some money. Let's see, I only have 15 prisoners right now, and that's not very many. I really would like to get more. For one, I'm going to need at least 20 to run this workshop, and plus a few more to help keep the prisoners' uniforms clean and the prison itself tidy. Although I could always just use janitors for that. I already have 2. So, but I think expanding our cell block is in order. But that's going to be pretty pricey. It's going to cost me more than my rule of thumb, $700 per cell to build each new cell, because I have to pay for these external walls. That $700 a cell is assuming that these outer walls here are built with your foundation. So that's gonna cost me a pretty penny. So it means if I'm paying for that, I probably won't have time to get this shower in until it's done, and sometimes it feels like I'll never get the toilets in here. So if I'm going to be having them use this shower, I already have these 16 guys crowded onto 8 shower heads. That's not a very good idea. Let's go ahead and give them 8 more shower heads. At 2 prisoners per shower head, you can figure you're probably going to be able to get everybody clean during your morning shower hour. Any more than that, and you run a risk of having several guys who don't get clean, and with our luck, they're all going to have critical hygiene needs. So we're going to run some piping here just along all that, and I'm going to have to adjust this because I look here and that would be almost 32 meters of pipe right there, and that's going to be at least 10. So probably what I'll do is I will amend my piping structure. I'll put in those and I'll just get rid of this connection that's about to be extra. And then I will have all my stuff, all my shower heads watered again. And that will be that. Let's see how many prisoners we're going to get tomorrow. We're going to get 8. We can easily take care of 8. Probably what we'll have to do, because we can figure we'll get about probably about $5,000 in license plate revenue here. So we'll figure we'll have 8,000 to work with. That'll be, I don't know, we might be able to handle this, getting 8 new cells in. We'll see if there's anything else we need to spend money on. We're going to need another table. Let's go ahead and get everything we're going to need in first, because we can always just cheap out and build a holding cell, because this morgue right here is where I wanted to have a holding cell anyway. The morgue will eventually be moved here. And we can just put as many as we can into good cells. Everybody else can wait in the holding cell for a day. and then we can move them into, once we get our midnight license plate money tomorrow, we can, oh, we can then move the rest into a good cell, and then everybody will get a good night's sleep. Because again, the prisoners don't require all that much time to sleep. They have plenty of time to tunnel and whatnot. Speaking of tunneling, let's see, needs report. Freedom. We just have a little bit of freedom need. I don't expect the tunneling's going to be a problem right now, because they'll only tunnel in response to a high freedom need. So if they don't have a high freedom need, you should be fine. Which means it will be very safe for me to just run a cell block search tonight when they're in the canteen and see what we find. Let's check our prison policy report. I think we want to start introducing some prisoner searches for some of this stuff. Like destruction, we'll run both. Escape attempt. Let's see, if they're carrying a weapon, they'll go ahead and use it. That's kind of pointless. So we'll just search their cells in the response of these. I'm not too concerned with luxuries or drugs. Right now the drugs are non-functional. Later on they'll have a negative effect on your prisoners. I suppose it will make them move more slowly. But for now, drugs don't really do anything. I don't know if there are any even in the game. Alpha 14 will have our K9 units, so I guess that's when they'll make the smelly contraband items an important factor in the game. You know what else? I feel really bad for my administrators, so I'm going to go ahead and have some mercy and give them some lights. They don't get walls yet. They're going to have an open concept office, and they'll have a nice view of the storage room for a while, but oh, I really should put in another capacitor if I'm going to do that. If I'm going to... See, me having a heart for my administrators is making it hard for me to fill up my prison. But I can't stand all these unused lights. It's killing me. Okay, I have to do something to stop them from... I don't want the rest of these lights turning on before that capacitor is installed. Because you can see here, I do not have very much spare capacity. Not much at all. Okay, that sound means it is safe for me to put in this last piece of cable. And would that have taken me over? Oh, most definitely. So, needs report. Prisoners aren't taking care of very many important needs in their 2 hours of free time. You'll see they have very low family and recreation needs, which are the two needs that free time is most suited to taking care of. So I can probably get away with less. See, they're taking care of that food need. And I do have enough for him. He's walking slowly because of the suppression effect. He was punished recently for, oh, we found weapons, so we threw him in solitary. That's why he's got so much suppression on him. But we got guys who really need sleep. They'll take care of that. And we should be good. I'll search the cell block because anybody who has tools will just be locked down in their cell. And I'm going to free up everybody so they can join in that search. We'll get that taken care of quickly. And then we can build overnight. Which is, that's... Again, once you have 2 workshops going, your workmen will be constantly busy moving sheet metal to your workshops during the day. So really all of your building is going to be done at night once you have once you have multiple workshops. So yeah, I'm not thinking we're going to find any tunnels. If we find any tunnels, they'll be left over from back when they had a higher freedom need. See, they have tools, but no tunnels. We got a hacksaw, we have a spoon here, another spoon. I really should be putting in some metal detectors, probably here, because that'll get everybody coming out of the workshops, and probably in the entrances to the cell blocks themselves. Okay, 5200, that's good. So let's see here. We'll put in some cells here. It's not going to be a proper cell block for a long time, but we can at least have proper cells. Yeah, I'll definitely have enough for at least 4. I don't want to push my luck and go for the other 4 though. We'll just dismantle this morgue slab and convert this into a holding cell. No problem at all. That's what the holding cell's there for. The holding cell is not a permanent solution. You will only use the holding cell if you want to cheaply take in a few more prisoners than your current capacity will allow you. And we're gonna have to, this will have to be enclosed. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a normal door here rather than a jail door. I could actually be putting normal doors in on all of my cells, but that doesn't make the prison very secure. However, I can afford to skimp on the holding cell because it's not going to have very many prisoners in it, and I do not plan on it being in use very much. Go ahead and take this down here so I can run some, because I do intend on this being a permanent holding cell. And 3100. I like to keep at least $1,000 of money in reserve in my bank balance for every workshop I have to make absolutely sure that I have enough money to keep the sheet metal flowing, because the workshops, if you go over, you're safe for a couple hours because your saws will just work through their reserves of sheet metal, keep making license plate blanks. And once the saws are out of sheet metal, obviously they'll stop, but you'll still have a stack of license plate blanks here for the presses to work on. It's when you run out of extra license plate blanks that it becomes a problem, because then the next day you will have presses and saws that haven't been fed. So the presses, they have no license plate blanks, so they have to wait for the saws rather than just getting right to it. So it's kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Do you want money now or do you want money later? And obviously it's better to have the money now so you can do your prison building sooner rather than later, because the prisoners themselves that you're building the cells for also bring you in money. But you're not making as much money as you might think squeezing out that extra hour and running your saws down, or keeping the presses running even after the saws have been off for a couple hours. You're just taking a loan out from tomorrow's paycheck. And let's look at our regime report, because we've decided we have a lot of extra free time. I'd really like to turn this into work, but I don't think that'll work out. We'll just have an hour of free time in between, 10-hour workday. And that 1 hour of free time will suit them, that they can go to the bathroom or whatever. They won't have time to do much else, but they haven't been particularly needy prisoners anyway. So, I mean, look at that. Family and recreation needs, just a little bit. They'll have an hour to take care of that in the morning, same time where they take care of their bladder and bowel needs. You see, with having the 16 shower heads, not everybody goes right to a shower head, because apparently not everybody has a high hygiene need. Let's see, sleep need. I have one guy who needs a little bit of sleep. This means that if I were to search this cell block, I would expect to find at most one tunnel. But if he was tunneling, he wasn't tunneling for very long, so I'm not concerned. I'll run a cell block search later. I don't need him in the shower, so we'll just take him off. We'll probably actually take these guys off patrol and off of the canteen pretty soon so that we can get our 8 guys in that much quicker. And I will be running 23 prisoners with 5 guards. That's fairly safe. You don't want to go too light on your guards because every cell block, basically you figure you want to have a guard patrolling every cell block constantly once you get to a certain size. I've really been bad and not done that. But, you know, once you have your fully functioning prison, you'll have a guard in each cell block, and you want to be able to have a guard in each shower, which means that since I have 16 prisoners per cell block, I want to have at least one guard for every 8 prisoners. Anything else is you'll have free guards to do stuff like this. I'm going to go ahead and not go to bureaucracy. We'll take this guy off patrol because everybody will be, well, he'll go back on patrol later, but I just want to get these guys in quickly because again, they have needs, and the sooner they're in and taking care of those needs, the better it'll be for my prison. Oh, and I probably should mark these as cells, shouldn't I? That'll help. A note about marking cells quickly like I did, you'll see how I was just able to select all 4 of these cells at once. That works because I have the walls in between the cells. If I did not have the walls in between the cells, and I had just marked that ground as cells and then put in the walls later, it would still regard it as one very large cell. So if you're going to put in the cell marking before you have your walls in, go ahead and do the cells individually. You only want to do it as a group if you already have your walls in, because you will just have to rezone them anyway if you mark it early. If you mark the whole thing before the walls are in. So save yourself the effort. So I have 3 guys in the holding cell. That's not too bad. See, it would run me too much to put in the wall. I can, you know what? I can afford to put in the walls, but well, I'll put in that wall. I'm not gonna put in anything else until I have my money, because again, I want to make absolutely sure that this workshop stays running. And you may have noticed that I took in 8 prisoners but did not immediately go into deployment to assign 8 more jobs. That's because, let's look at our needs report, I can't do anything about them being hungry or tired, but what I can do is any of my new prisoners, I can allow them time to take care of their family and recreation needs, and especially this freedom need. And also any bladder needs they need. They got their own cells, they got the holding cell, they should be fine for bladder. But this freedom need is the need that's going to bother me the most, because you saw how I had none of my prisoners who had been in my prison for a couple days had a freedom need, and none of them were working on tunnels. And those tunnels are kind of a nuisance right now in Alpha 13. The developer said they toned it down in Alpha 14. So, but until then, they're going to be tunneling at a pretty high rate anytime they have a high freedom need. Best to avoid that. So, yeah, give them some time to relax, to get into the scheme of things. I'll assign them to jobs tomorrow. Once they've had time to acclimate. Our danger level is increasing though. We're about to get free time. So we'll just watch our needs. Again, we can't do anything about sleep or food. We're just stuck with that. But everybody's gonna hit the toilets. Nobody needs hygiene. Depending on how my danger level looks, by 2:45 over here, I may decide to extend the free time so it is 2 hours like it was before. We'll just see how our needs are going. I think, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have a heart. We'll let him feel at home. Just some on-the-fly adjustment. I mean, that probably was unnecessary because you see how the danger level is so low already. But you know, I think better safe than sorry. I mean, these guys are maximum security inmates, so I do have to be aware that these guys will go crazy at the least provocation of any of the prisoners. And again, it's this danger level that they're responding to. Some of my prisoners will go off at the drop of a hat once it hits 20% of its maximum. I think 40% is more normal, but you are going to have, you know, if you've ever noticed you have a prisoner who's like that guy, like for me, my first that guy was a maximum, well, he was a normal security prisoner, but I made him maximum security, but his name was Pratt. And if I can find a prisoner who looks a little bit like, because they have he had the fat body shape, but I don't see any prisoner who has the face he had. But I will never forget Pratt, just because he was kind of a jerk, and he would start fighting for any reason and sometimes no reason at all. So if you've ever had a Pratt of your own, that's what you've been seeing. So we'll just let them work a bit. 17 prisoners tomorrow, though. Should have looked at this sooner, but really, as long as I caught it before 8 in the morning tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. I can safely say we will not have room for 17 prisoners. We're going to go ahead and close our prison again. And we will just use that we'll use that money to maybe catch up on our cell block building. But since we have 8 more prisoners, and the prison looks pretty good right now, I think, as far as the cleanliness is concerned. We got these 2 janitors who I figure are worth 3 prisoners in the cleaning cupboard for each janitor. You know, because they work 24 hours a day rather than approximately 8. And so I don't need anybody else in the cleaning cupboard. The laundry is probably just fine. We'll see if anybody's slacking in there. So really it's just 8 more guys to put into the workshop. I want to get some more tables so they'll stop just wandering wherever they want to put the license plates. It really doesn't matter. But if I had tables here, they would be putting them on those tables rather than wandering up to this corner to set that down there. Each of these stacks is worth a fair bit of money. 3 of them together is worth more than 1,000, so that's quite a bit of money I'm going to have coming in. Again, let them have some time to take care of these needs. They only have an hour though, but the family and recreation needs aren't the big deal. The big deals are the sleep need and the food need, and they're about to take care of them right back to back. So I think my prison's gonna keep in good order. Got this guy here to keep watch on the cell block. I got somebody here to respond if there are any incidents in the hall. And I got somebody right there in the canteen. I'm good. I'm very good to go. And my chefs should have plenty of food for everybody. I have enough food for the 2 prisoners who have not decided to grab any, but I'm not sure if they have enough time to eat. That'll be their loss if they don't have the time. We got most of our food need taken care of. They'll take care of it in the morning. Now it's time for sleep. And if anybody's going to dig a tunnel, it'll be one of these 3, or one of these 4. They'll have 3 new ones coming in from the holding cell, just as, well, I guess since I don't need to keep my buffer, I can go ahead and get a drop on putting in 3 of these walls. And just for the sake of full efficiency, 1 of the toilets. Get the workmen to work. Because it'll be 45 more minutes until I get my money, and then I'll be able to finish everything up, get these guys out of here. Because you notice I don't have a bed, so these guys, I have prisoners who might want to be sleeping but can't sleep. I want them in cells very soon. So we'll just get these 3 done, and then we'll finish this one. So I'm just going to put in this wall, 2 more toilets, 3 beds, boom, 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 and jail door, jail door, jail door. Yeah. Okay, and since I want to do this before putting the walls in, before putting the doors in, I'll go ahead and get that plumbed in. It is difficult when placing your storage, by the way. I put it up here so they will be close to the workshop while they're loitering, because, you know, they prefer to wait in storage rather than at deliveries. But that does make it take longer for them to construct things in the nighttime. That is a choice I made, that it was worth the extra time at night so that I could get the quicker response time during the day on the sheet metal. I actually haven't tried making multiple storage though. If it's anything else like if it's anything like having multiple kitchens though, or multiple workshops though, it would be a really bad idea. Again, I went ahead and put in just plain my prison so I would have my workshops right next to each other, because the prisoners the AI doesn't know how to deal with having multiple types of room. Like, the prisoners will transfer, let's say I had both of these running. It'll take the sheet metal, turn it into license plate blanks. Even if this press is empty, they'll take the license plate blanks and put them on a press in here that still has plates. That's why you can only have 1 kitchen, by the way. The chefs are very, very bad at understanding how to deal with having multiple kitchens. They'll they'll move an ingredient into a fridge here, and then if I had another kitchen down here, they would then take an ingredient straight from that fridge down to a cooker down here, and then they'll run back up here to mess with the cooker up here. So you're pretty much stuck to you can only have 1 kitchen. Otherwise, your cooks will spend all their time running between your kitchens and no time actually cooking food. And your prisoners will starve, and your prisoners will riot, and your prison will fail. So now we're going to go ahead. We have the power to put in 4 more machines. I think we should. Get a drop on that cash, you know? So that'll necessitate me deploying 1, 2, 3, 4 more prisoners to the workshop to man those, but I got 8 in, so actually let's go ahead and assign those last 4 to the cleaning cupboard. Let's see, what, oh, I didn't put a toilet in here. How silly of me. And there, that's it. That's pretty much all the money I can afford to spend until I get all my license plate money in from tomorrow night. Or tonight. I'd really like to put in those tables, but I just can't afford it. And you spend money on what you have to, not on what you necessarily want to. Let's see, low and increasing. Never ceases to amaze me how dirty they can get overnight, and they're completely unfazed by working through the day in the workshop. But that's okay. That's why we schedule a morning shower. You could theoretically schedule free time instead of shower, but practically what you'll find is that your prisoners will just sleep in an extra hour and it's essentially a waste. So you use shower, you force them to get out of bed, and then anybody who misses a shower or who feels a little bit dirty during the day, they have a few hours of free time during the day where they can take care of that. A couple guys with freedom need, not too worried. They'll be taking care of that. Family and recreation is starting to build up. Doesn't concern me. They'll have time for that. One guy just went to critical hygiene. Again, he has free time coming up, so whoever that is will be fine. And let's go ahead and send our last free guard to the workshop because they'll be going there soon. I do wish the prisoners were smart enough to change their clothing when they needed to. Like, this guy's like, I need clothing, so clearly the correct thing for me to do is go exercise. It's one of those Alpha 12 bugs that did not get fixed in Alpha 13. There's always Alpha 14 though. Again, since I am only running a couple prison days at a time, it'll be fine because the way to fix that problem is you just save your game, just quit out of Prison Architect entirely, and then load your save, and they'll change at their next convenience. So, and I'm not sure if that clothing is even really counting towards their aggravation with the prison. We have the one guy who's very tired, which means I probably should search one of these 4 cells. So I'm going to go ahead and search these 4 toilets, because I suspect that I have somebody who was tunneling. The toilet is always where they start it's always where they start from. So we'll just free that guy up so he can take care of those. Well, somebody had a screwdriver. Let's see. Okay, good. I didn't lose one of my... Oh, yes I did. So we'll take a guy off of the cleaning cupboard so that we can make sure that everything in our workshop is manned. And I don't need him on patrol right now. I want to get these last 3 cells checked. And there's our tunnel. So we're just going to go to our materials, find remove tunnel. It'll cost us a little bit of money, $80, but that's okay. And what did I tell you? One guy with critical sleep need? That means one guy tunneling. Let's see. But cell's back in working order. We're good. The first thing I should spend money on is another capacitor, because again, I'm running dangerously low on available power. You see I just have that, I wouldn't quite call that a sliver of green, but that's a very low percentage of my power that's free, and one machine might be enough to take it offline. 2 machines, definitely. There would be no contest. I simply have no chance of sustaining 2 more machines on that. Because 1 machine is 20% of one of these bars, and that's probably about 30% of a bar. But 40%, greater than 30, I ain't chancing that. And let's look at my work schedule. I can probably go for 4 more hours on this bank balance, don't you think? Low danger level, only 1 prisoner with serious complaints, and let's be honest, that's his fault. I mean, he's the one who was tunneling. Let's see. So that's Wyatt, who was the one who was tunneling, because you notice he was just in solitary for, well, that should have only been 2 hours, and look at how suppressed he is after just 2 hours in the pen. That's our weapon guy. And we need to see who comes to this cell. If that wasn't Wyatt, then it was somebody else. Somebody who has a tool on him rather than stashed. Oh, let's check his bed. Maybe he stashed his tool in his bed. Because I only checked the cell, or the toilet, because I was only interested in finding his tunnel, but I'd like to find his contraband if I can. Yep, spoon. Let's see, was it Wyatt? Somebody's in handcuffs. Nope, that was Ed. Ah, there's our sleepy prisoner. See, he's not showing a freedom need. And now we're searching him because we found tools in a cell search. This is our policy. We set that in our policy report. Because again, we're mostly going to find tools during cell searches, so we might as well see what they have on them. He has nothing, because we know his toilet's clean, we know his bed's clean, and we know he's clean. So he's just going to get a small suppression effect from this lockdown, make him a bit less likely to make trouble in the prison in the future. It's not doing anything for his freedom need, though. Tonight he'll be far too tired to tunnel, so tomorrow hopefully he'll have the time to lower that freedom need and, you know, not start tunneling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 22. Okay, and when he gets off a lockdown, he's going into the cleaning cupboard. See, 4 pluses on his suppression. That'll last a bit. And again, we're not being tyrants with our sentences. You saw how much Wyatt got after just 2 hours in solitary. 2 hours in lockdown was still 4 pluses. I assume that means Wyatt had 8. I didn't count. But you do not need to send your prisoners into punishment for very long periods of time to get pretty nasty suppression effects on them. And again, that does make them move slower, so they're not as good on any jobs that require them to be mobile, like the cleaning cupboard or the laundry. But you best believe that those 2 guys are gonna follow the rules next time. At least until that suppression effect wears off. And again, you hope that by then they've had time to take care of their needs and figure, maybe Warden's not such a bad guy after all. Okay, we are in negative bank balance, so pretty good. We could have gone for another hour at least. You see, none of our saws ever had a chance to stop working because they were all fed with sheet metal the whole way through. So we could have gone for another hour, probably, before we ran into a circumstance where we were stealing from tomorrow's payday. And again. Oh, okay. It's not 17, it's going to be 8 this time. Good. We can definitely take care of 8 more guys. Because we should have... Oh gosh. 10, 15, 20, 28, plus all of these. So we'll just say that's 30 stacks. Oh gee, that'll probably be at least 10,000 coming in. That'll be good money. Yep. Feed your workshop and it will be good to you. I'm definitely going to want to put in those tables. If I can finish off those cells, then the tables are definitely going in. Needs. Okay, he should be good. He has too much sleep need to worry about that tiny sliver of freedom. Just, you know, he's just on a medium need for it. We should probably go search him though. Shouldn't have, no, we'll leave him be. We'll leave him be. He's not going to get very far. You saw his tunnel only came out 4 squares, so where is he going to go? I'm assuming he's trying to join up here, and I guess his quickest way out would probably be to follow it all the way up here. So even with the bonus he gets from tunneling along a large pipe, he's got so many nights before he can get out. Again, I specifically designed this prison so that tunnelers had a long way to go. Okay, it's almost 10,000, 9,500. That's good. We'll definitely be able to finish this off. We'll see how much room we have in the budget for a new shower block after this is done. I'm not sure if I want to prioritize the showers or if I want to prioritize those tables. I might not have to. Because walls are expensive, but I don't need to put the walls in. I already have the wall for the shower. We can just let this part of the prison flood. Gotta get the pipe right onto the toilet, otherwise it will not have its water. Did I not order? Yeah, I did. It's just queued. See, they got their materials. And I think since I got these cell blocks, or since I got these rows of cells side to side, I will show you another way not to zone your cells once all this is done. Because we've already established that if I were to mark these two as cells, well, actually, you know what, we'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Let's put this in, oops. Let's put this in before the wall is there. So, got that marked. It's going to be 2 cells. This is going to have a wall over it, but it should not like these cells even once I put the walls and the doors in. We'll see. We'll see. go ahead and get a guard in the shower, because I'm not going to have this done in time. That's okay. We'll do that tomorrow. And since we have plenty of, and we'll take care of that later also. I don't want to distract them from finishing off all of this. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna unlock this whole area for our workmen, so I don't have to keep manually doing that. And we can set that clock to normal now. Now you see what it did. It regards it properly, but it thinks it's only one cell. So you see our cell count only went up to 25. So this could confuse you an awful lot if you didn't look and see that, oh, the word cell is going along there. So what we have to do is we will, again, I don't have to select cell, I can select anything. Right click and drag, just like we left clicked and drag to place that. And we would be able to rezone it properly, but let's show you another way that doesn't work. Again, it thinks it's one giant cell because I got the hallway. Another way that doesn't work, if I were to zone this and put it so it has the door there. And since it regards the door square as part of the cell, it sees that this square does not have a door in between it and the hallway, because the door is on the cell, or in the square, not adjacent to it. So again, we just have to make sure we get this 2x3 area, and it'll work. And again, we can set the whole column at once safely, as long as the walls are already in. And now we have 32 cells for our prisoners. So once these guys are up, I guess that's going to be it for this video. We'll just make sure that we don't have any incidents in the shower. You know how they like to get. We'll send a guy off on patrol to make sure they get to the canteen all right. And we don't need you in there right now. I always forget. Uh-oh, somebody's complaining about hygiene. Need to take care of that. There you go. Good, 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 good. See, that guy could have been a problem if he didn't have a shower head available to him. He was very upset. You saw how jagged those lines were around his speech bubble. But now we're down to a low and decreasing danger level. 2 prisoners are well treated. Only 1 guy has serious complaints. That's somebody who wants to see their family. He'll have an hour to take care of that coming up, just like they'll have an hour to take care of their bladder and bowel needs. Tonight I'm going to put in the toilets up here so that they'll be able to take care of bladder and bowels during shower time, so that hour of free time after eating they can use on this, or more likely I will just send them to the workshop. But they're behaving. Time to get everybody off of what they're doing so that we have people to take these prisoners in. Again, they will be ignoring the holding cell and be taking them straight to nice cells. And you know what I'll do right before quitting? I'm going to go ahead and schedule a capacitor, and I want to turn the lights on down here. But I think that just about does it. We're in a good place. We survived our first couple days with our maximum security prisoners. Now that we have a fully functioning prison, even though these guys are coming in with some needs of their own, we still have a very low danger level because we've had plenty of prisoners here already, and they're happy. Looks like we lost another prisoner to... Yep, that was definitely a release. And when I go back to look at the video, I'll see it had been sitting here warning me for 8 hours. Now, 8 prisoners arriving tomorrow. I don't think we'll have because we have to put in a whole other block here, so that's going to be foundations we have to put down. We'll think about that, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So, I hope you guys are enjoying the improved video and audio quality, by the way. That's going to be a permanent thing. They're all going to be this nice from now on. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the quality. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been GC13. Happy building.